Hey, I'm Kimberly with Elixir Mentor. Jacob recently added recruitment services to help companies hire pre-vetted Elixir devs. I help with company outreach, so if you're hiring, I may be reaching out, or you can connect with us anytime at elixirmentor.com.
Secure your Elixir apps with Paraxial.io. From code analysis and bot defense to dependency checks, they've got you covered. Elixir first design with GitHub integration. Elevate your security at Paraxial.io. Testing. What's up? I'm Jacob Litzo, your Elixir mentor, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Elixir Mentor podcast. This is where we discuss everything related to Elixir, from interviews with enthusiasts, pioneers in the community, to innovative projects and libraries shaping Elixir's future. Alex is back, and this time we're diving into Elixir from a product and tech founder perspective. We're going to be talking about his SaaS platform, EagleMMS, and real world challenges, lessons learned, etc. Welcome back, Alex. It's good to have you back on. How are you doing?
Doing well, doing well. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm excited. I have like a handful of guests now coming on from more of like the technical founder perspective, and I think like obviously like talking about code is important, but I also feel like knowing how to create a product and like what it actually takes to be successful is so awesome to know, because I feel like engineers struggle with that a lot.
Well, in that case, I don't think I'm qualified. You said the word successful, so
We better end this then. See you guys. Have a good
that's it.
one. Before we dive into that though, like what's been going on in your world since we talked last? I feel like you and Peter were
Hey,
on
Peter,
4 months
Peter
ago
Ulrich and
or
I.
so,
Was it
maybe
four
even
months ago?
longer.
I think it was like a year ago.
It might have been.
I,
Time
I
flies.
think, I think I was down in Florida at the time, so that must have
Yeah,
been.
that sounds
Oh,
about right.
maybe that was this year. Yeah, I was down in Florida in February, so maybe it was this year. Actually,
All right, so you're
but
not making me feel too crazy.
yeah, not too crazy. No, it's been a bit busy. It's been a bit busy, which is unfortunate because I've kind of fallen behind on my blog posts, fallen behind on my open source work. But I think in that time, like Elixir Patterns fully shipped, which is nice. So that's in print and completed. I think we're actually running a Black Friday sale. You should go
That's
check it out,
awesome.
everybody. If you're
Everyone
yeah.
should go grab that book, because I know I've said in the past, like it's one of those books that just has so many like little nuggets of gold to make you just step up your Elixir game. So
Yeah, and actually, a lot of what's in that book definitely came about as I was working on the business. Um, like a lot of the things I put in there are things that I actually use day to day in my app,
yeah, I
Eagle
love that.
MMS, and we can
That's how
we can
I
talk about that. Yeah,
that's how I learned about like, well, I didn't learn about, but that's what got me first using like an Ets table and stuff was your book.
Mhm. Yeah. That was one of the patterns in the book was what was it? It was creating a debts table and then loading up the debts table on application start. And in Eagle, so we're in the automotive space. So there's a lot of static data that kind of changes, maybe quarterly. So it's not something I want to stick in Postgres because it doesn't change that often, but I want it to be fast, right? Like if I'm doing year, make, model car lookups, there's no reason to go back and forth over to the network to Postgres. So all that stuff is actually inside of a DETS file, and so it gets bundled in with the Docker image,
Okay.
and then on application start, you take the DETS file, you read it, and you load it into Ets. And that was one of the patterns in Elixir Patterns, and it worked out well for our product. Our year make model like drop down filters,
How
essentially
does that
instantaneous.
how does that work with like distribution, like popping up new nodes and stuff? Because are Ets tables distributed? Do they, or they're just to one
No, they're
node,
not.
right?
They're to
Okay.
one node. Yeah, so every
Okay.
node would have to spin it up.
I
But
see.
given that it's static, you're not
It
synchronizing, right? Yeah,
yeah, okay. That makes sense. Cool.
yeah.
Yeah, so can you just kind of go through from like a macro level what Eagle MMS is and like what got you into the automotive space to begin with?
Yeah, sure. Okay. All right, so we'll rewind to like 2013. I think I was starting my first startup around 2013. I think I was trying to do it in Node.js. And
Oh,
that
I
one
used to do
failed.
that.
Not for that one didn't fail for technical reasons. That one failed because I thought I could just build something quietly, and
Yeah,
then
build it and they will come, right? That's not
yeah,
true.
that is that's not true at all. That's the first one failed. Then I started another business, probably like 2016, something like that. It was actually kind of like Uber, but for logistics. And my co-founder was me and him were working at the same company here in the States. He was originally from Senegal, Africa, so we were going to launch this over there. But I was the technical side of the house. He was business side of the house, but it just kind of petered out after a little while. I think he got a job, I got a new job, and just things kind of fizzled out, and we never really launched. So I had like 2 failed startups under my belt, and I've always been into cars, but I never thought about making an actual business in the automotive space. But I was taking a road trip with my younger brother, who is actually a auto body technician, and I was kind of complaining to him like, oh man, I'm two startups deep, both failed. I just itching to start another one because this was like 3-4 years after the previous failure. And so I just asked him, what's going on in your automotive auto body space, collision? What's going on there? So he told me about how archaic it is to tabulate the consumables costs in a repair. So after cars like into an accident, you're obviously going to use a ton of sandpaper, body filler. If you're welding things, you're going to be using a bunch of MIG wire, TIG wire, whatever. There's a whole bunch of consumables that goes into the repair. And the way it's been done for 30, 40 years is they take the amount of hours that it takes to fix the car and they just multiply it by like 35. And that's what the insurance companies have been doing for 30, 40 years. And maybe it worked in the 90s, maybe it worked in the early 2000s. But after COVID hit, inflation took over. We had the petroleum crisis, in the middle of COVID. So, all the supply chains got out of whack. So things that you could buy for, $4 or $5 before COVID are now $20 a piece. And, insurance companies are like, no, the old model works fine. We can collect all of our customers, monthly dues or whatever, or, biannual dues. And then we can keep paying the body shops what we paid them back in the 90s. So they make a ton of money on the front end, and then they distribute nothing when it comes time to file a claim. So there's a bit of friction in the industry where we're now providing software that like very, very accurately calculates how much consumable cost goes into every repair. But the insurance company is like, no, we want to keep the old model because it's financially beneficial to them.
Of course.
So like we're able to track down to a single piece of sandpaper how much the job actually costs, and we have this humongous database of sandpaper from 3M, from Norton, from Sem makes some sandpaper. Like all these manufacturers, we've aggregated all of their price lists together, and we can tabulate how much one piece of sandpaper costs for one job. We have this nice diagram that people can click on so we can calculate how much paint that they need, how much clear coat, primer, sealer. So we've built a very, very accurate estimation and invoicing model for how to repair vehicles and how much it costs just for the consumable side of things. So we don't touch labor, we don't touch operations that you need to perform on the vehicle if you're like pulling a frame or whatever. But anything consumables related, we take care of, and also environmental impact, because a lot of these chemicals are volatile, so they need to be dealt with separately than just chucking it in the trash bin. So we also provide invoices for the insurance companies that say, hey, this is how much volatile compound was discarded. This is how much it costs to pick it up, stuff like that. So yeah, it's fun. We're on the phone a lot with insurance companies.
That sounds horrible, but also awesome. I feel like there's probably so many industries that need similar solutions like this too, because I feel like anything, I don't want to say like, I guess more like manufacturing or like in this case, like auto repair. I feel like everything is just estimated at a very high level.
Yeah, and a lot of it's done on the front end, right? So if your car gets wrecked and you're taken to a shop, the shop will write a giant estimate, and then that estimate goes to the insurance company. Ideally, insurance is not part of this process at all, but I think they've kind of finagled themselves into the process. Ideally, the shop would write an estimate, they'd give it to the vehicle owner would get the repairs, and then they'd go to their insurance company and get reimbursed. Ideally, that's how it works. Insurance should actually have no say in the process, but I think they've socially engineered their way there. But
isn't that weird how companies that don't do anything make money off of other people doing things?
yeah. Well, that's the problem, right? Like, think about how many movies are out where it's like evil insurance company won't pay claim, right? Like that
Yeah,
narrative is as old as time,
it's out there.
and yet here we are. And to be fair, there are a few insurance companies that are actually quite nice to work with, but there are also some that just atrocious. Where like to the point where it's the vehicle owner's safety at risk, right? Where
Yeah.
if a car gets into a certain kind of risk, into a certain kind of accident, you're supposed to measure the frame and like make sure that everything's to spec, right? Because if something is off, alignment is off, shoot, maybe if maybe your steering column is bent, like there's a whole bunch of measurement that needs to be taken into account to ensure that after the cosmetic repairs of the vehicle, it's still safe to drive after the fact. And a lot of times the shops will write an estimate, and the insurance company will be like, "Yeah, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. Don't need to do that." And it's like,
dude,
do you want your customer to drive an unsafe vehicle? I don't.
Yeah, they don't care.
It does not compute.
When I was in college, I got T-boned by a drunk driver, and relatively, like it was like a year old, maybe a year and a half old, like Jetta, and I remember being so pissed. It was like $500 away from being considered totaled.
Yeah.
And so I had to get everything repaired. It was a black car. They painted it horrible. Like, so you could see like orange peel and crap.
Did you go to the shop that the insurance company suggested?
Yep.
Okay. So those are called DRPs. Those are direct repair partners. And like the whole agreement between them and insurance will send them volume, but they'll repair it as cheaply as possible. So what you're describing.
I learned my lesson. I was young, dude. I was like 22 years old, and I learned my lesson the hard way, and that sucked.
Yeah. That is not a unique story. If you go to the shop that the insurance company suggests, it's a DRP, and it'll be like the goal is keep it as cheap as possible.
Yeah.
So things that should be replaced versus repaired, they'll repair it because it's cheaper. Where they should be getting OEM parts, like stuff from Volkswagen in your case, they'll probably get aftermarket stuff, which is thiner metal. Maybe it's not even to tolerance,
and maybe they can't even paint a car.
Usually, you'll see the difference. So it's like the OEM black. You'll have a new panel here. It's like these are two different shades of black. That's not the same. That's not one of them doesn't shine as nicely as the other.
So I'm curious, like I talk about this a lot with like building products. How did you like validate the idea of what you wanted? What did the MVP even look like? Because I always talk about like you launch a product with as few features as you possibly can add, and then you get some validation or feedback. Like what was your approach there? What did you do?
So it definitely helped where my younger brother's the domain expert, right? Like he's in auto body. He's been fixing cars for 10 years now. So he had very intimate knowledge about the industry. So he was actually essentially customer number one. So he helped me. Like I would build stuff. He'd iterate with me and say, yeah, this is a little clunky. This doesn't work the way I wanted. Stuff like that. And our first iteration of the product was everything in the shop would have a QR code. And you would just go around with your cell phone as you're grabbing things and scan them. And we were like, this is perfect. You don't need any app beyond this. Everyone's just going to go get their piece of sandpaper and scan it out. Like in an ideal world, that's it. Like final stage app. You don't need to do anything else. And it worked for his little operation. He was working out of his home garage repairing stuff on the side, and he's like, "Yeah, this is perfect for me." I go up, I get my sandpaper, I scan it out, and I go and I sand, and it's all done. So after we got that whole flow down, got it deployed. There's a whole bunch of technical overhead of getting the CI/CD pipeline, deploying it, whatnot. fighting with Chrome to generate PDFs. Like once that heavy lift was done, and
wait, didn't you build a library for PDFs?
no, actually, I got a shout out. Was it Chromic PDF? I think is the name of the.
Oh, okay.
That is a phenomenal library. Yeah, it's Chromic PDF by BitCrowd. If you
Okay.
need to work with PDFs, that's probably the best one that's browser based, sort of
Uh,
Chromium based.
Very cool. I'll have to
Um,
check that one out.
like nowadays, there's also Types, which is that Rust library.
Okay.
I think there are Rustler bindings for it now. I think from a few different authors, but you essentially type your markdown and then pass it through Types, and it'll generate a PDF for you. Like if Types existed when I started this business, I probably would have used Types, but Chromic PDF does the job as well. The only bad part about Chromic PDF is getting Chrome deployed.
Wendo just asked, did you say BitCrowd?
Yeah, BitCrowd. Yeah,
Okay, cool.
but so got all the technical kind of overhead stuff done. Got it deployed. My brother was using it day to day at his home his home shop. He loved it, and we were like, all right, it's time to go out on the road and sell this thing. So he was going door to door. At the time, I was living in Connecticut, and so was he. So he just hopped in his car, and we just go shop to shop. And like that's when reality hits you, is when you try to sell something, and you try to take someone's money and offer them a service. Like that's
Yeah.
when reality sets in, and everyone's like, hey, get the heck out of here. What do you want with this nonsense? Like
And
honestly,
the door to door, like, dude, feet on the ground, that's the hard work right there. Building the product's the easy part.
but don't tell him that. Yeah,
Dude,
I maintain that it was equal effort.
I tell everyone that. Well, here's the thing though. I feel like it's easy for like someone that has like the engineering architect brain, like that wants to just build solutions, right? And it's really easy to like lock in, don't talk to people, and just build something. But then to like
Yeah,
actually get people to use it, like it goes against like I don't want to go and socialize and talk to a bunch of random strangers all day long
yeah.
to grow. Like that's the hard part. It's like not that it's hard, it's that I just don't want to do it.
Yeah. And I think like this is where knowing yourself is important, right? Because I'm kind of the same way. Like lock me in a room, I'll program for 10, 12 hours straight. I'll even skip a couple meals in the process. Like no problem. I enjoy that. I could even do the sales stuff. Like if we go to a trade show, we all, me and my brother both go, since we're co-founders, and I'll sell there. I don't mind it. But like I definitely don't enjoy it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I
I'm
prefer to
more
be in my
like
dark room programming.
I'm more of a, send me a warm lead and I'll like gladly like close it. Like, cause then it's just
Yeah,
like
yeah.
having a good conversation with someone. And if you believe in your product, it's pretty easy to close. But like the cold knocking outreach, all the hangups and door slams,
It's
that's what I
rough.
don't like. Yeah.
It's really like it turns you down. It does.
Yeah.
And like that's what the first I don't know, 6, 7 months was, where it was like he'd go door to door. He did make a sale his very first day, and I think that gave him like a false sense of confidence. Like this is gonna be easy. Like
Yeah.
I can make a sale a day. It'd be phenomenal. I think like if he hadn't made that first sale on that first day, like I don't know if we'd have a business, to be honest.
I'm
Because like
curious,
the
like,
next 6 months were just depression.
yeah. What is like, and you don't have to like disclose exact numbers, but like, what is like the rough like monthly cost to use your service? Like, and then like, how many users do you actually have on your platform to make it like a profitable company?
Yeah, so we have our pricing page. It's I think we got rid of our yearly plan, and it's just a monthly. So it's 99 a
Okay.
month to use our software. And we're just under 1,000 customers right now.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
I tell so many people now, like, just like, and I'm really grateful. Like I work at Collects. It's an awesome company. We're doing really cool things. but like the user base and like the amount of queries and stuff coming in, it's like at that scale where things become very difficult. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And I tell
Yeah.
everyone like, dude, if you can build like micro products and have, just like 1,000 users, 2,000 users on it and like make a good living, that's the way to go.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, I can definitely tell you, even at 1,000 customers, and maybe this is just specific to us because we deal with insurance companies, but the customer support load is pretty heavy. Like, yeah, a lot of shops will use our software. They'll get an invoice, like, all right, this is accurate, and then they'll give it to the insurance company. And the insurance company is like, yeah, we don't recognize invoices. Yeah, right.
I
And
could see,
the shops are stumped. They're like, I don't know what to say or do. So we have
yeah,
to coach them and walk them through. Okay, this is yeah, these are the laws in your state because we're nationwide. Actually, we're actually international. We have shops in Canada, and I
that's
think we may be
awesome.
starting in Australia as well. But yeah, I don't know what to tell them. They said no, and I just froze.
Do you have like low level? Do you pay for customer service? Because I feel like that's the first thing I
No,
would want to outsource and pay for.
and I would 100% agree.
Yeah.
Like once you start making some money, customer support is definitely a good investment because it frees you up to do
Hmm.
more of the stuff that drives more revenue to
Like
your
obviously, if
business.
things are like escalated, it can land on your desk. But for low level, I feel like outsource that immediately or hire
Yeah. So,
immediately.
that was our first hire was a customer support guy, and he was responsible for onboarding all the customers, making sure that they attended training sessions, making sure their accounts were all configured. And he's phenomenal at that stuff. But once it comes into like negotiation territory, my younger brother is also a licensed appraiser, so he actually used to like really really early days worked at an insurance company, and after I think 3 months, he was like, "This is a miserable existence." But he got all like his licensing and everything like that. So yeah, anytime it becomes a topic of how do I negotiate with insurance companies, my brother takes that on, and then if it's like a technical thing, I kind of take that on.
Yeah, yeah, that makes
So
sense.
as the customer base has grown, yeah, like supporting them and making sure that they're successful with the app is like that um, time effort has also grown.
Well, that's important, especially like you're not locking people in under contracts, right? So you have to worry about churn and like churn is like
Hmm.
a new thing to have to deal with in like a SaaS product, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, and it's like that part of it is definitely depressing, right? Like if you see if you log into your Stripe dashboard and a number go up, you're happy.
Yeah, yeah.
It's just like sometimes you'll go through like a wave, it's usually like summertime when people are out of office and like, oh, okay, time to cut expenses because we're not using these things type of stuff. You'll get a wave of churn. And it's just like demoralizing to the extreme.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, that would be a little sad.
Yeah.
Um, like what would you say like as you're building and like obviously since you're a co-founder, you care about the success of this company. What's your day-to-day look like between writing new features and, you know, boring office work, tax stuff, whatever
Yeah,
you
yeah.
customer support, whatever it may be.
Yeah, yeah. So we are getting close to that tax part of year. So I'm actually like CTO and COO of the business. So
Okay.
like anything paperwork and like compliance, legal, accounting, that also falls on my desk as well. So we're getting into that season where I'm gonna have to shift a lot of my programming and technical stuff into making sure all of our stuff is ready for the accountants, all of our stuff is ready for our lawyers, and all that fun
Yeah, if
stuff.
you guys didn't know, Alex is a really big nerd. And didn't you just or you are writing a book with like financial math and stuff with Elixir?
Yes, yeah. Actually, my younger brother is an auto body technician. My older brother actually teaches at Texas A&M. He teaches finance and
Oh,
economics.
sweet.
So he's got his PhD in finance, and yeah, like very similarly to like the conversation I had with my younger brother. I was like, oh, I don't know what to build. What problems do you have in your space? Yeah, I just finished up Elixir Patterns. So I was like, I kind of want to write another book. Like is there stuff we can talk about in finance? And yeah, he does everything in Excel and a little bit of Python, a little bit of R, but like Excel is where he lives. And yeah, he's like, oh, I'd love to take a lot of this stuff that I do in Excel and make like an actual streaming data processing pipeline. And I was like, oh, I think we can
Okay.
write a book about that.
That's awesome. Yeah. Is that book released yet or is it out?
So the finance book is actually about like, I don't know, 25% of the way done. Can I
Okay.
actually share? Can I share screen or?
Yeah, you can. I'm just gonna have to grab a URL real quick and yeah, we can do that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll show off the cover for that one. Because then, since I'm also a workaholic, I also have another book that me and
I
Hugo
call
have
it
been working on.
abuseaholic, dude. You abuse yourself and take all your time away because I do the same thing. I don't have any free time anymore because I just pile things on.
Yeah, I just love building stuff, and it's a problem. Yeah, I probably should talk to somebody about this.
Oh man. Yes, if you want to share your screen, you got to do it through video. And then I just
Oh,
have to
can I?
grab, and then once you do that, I can grab the streaming link and I can display it.
Here, let me see. So share
Hey, we
entire
got
screen.
Owen on here saying Elixir Patterns is great. I agree, dude. It's
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
such a good book. All right, I'm gonna let's see. Now I just have to guest one. Oh wait, I'm guest. Wait, am I guest one? No, you're guest one. I don't even know how I label things. Oh wait,
Hey, do you see the like infinity?
yeah, I'm about. Well,
Okay.
everyone's about to see that.
Oh, everyone's about to
And
see. Okay.
here it goes. All right, now everyone sees the infinity view of us
Okay.
chatting.
All right. So this is the finance book. So this one's about 20 to 25% done.
Ooh, I like that cover.
Uh, oh, I thank you.
Dude, something about
I,
data and graphs, it hits me.
it, it
Like I love it. It's my special place.
it is fun. It is fun, and like writing this book has been a lot of fun for me because like I've always wanted to dabble in Elixir, Scholar, and NX. I just didn't have anything that I wanted to do with those things, and this topic fits so nicely with all of these tools.
Yeah, I love that.
So
I'm excited for this because I like NX, I feel like is like so over my head, and I feel like this might be a good like
yeah,
step
so
into
that's
using it.
that's kind of how I felt with like Explorer and Scholar as well. I was like, oh, these are really cool tools. They have a lot of nifty modules and functions in there. I just don't have anything to do with them, which means I'm not going to learn it because I'm not actively exploring these libraries.
Yeah.
So
Wendo said, "Oh, this will be a fun one. I'm excited to read this one." And Owen goes, "Damn it, I need to buy another book."
yeah, well, there's also another secret coming out. So we'll talk about this one for a second, but
We'll save the secret for when we're about to close off to make people like sit at the edge of
okay,
their
we
seats.
could yeah okay we can save it to the end.
Yeah, yeah. You
But
guys, there's another secret.
but
It's
like this
actually
one's
pretty
been
exciting.
I think it's great. I actually have some of that secret to show off here on my desk, so we can
Ooh,
we can do some show
yeah.
and tell.
All right.
But yeah, this one's been great. Explorer is a phenomenal library. Like if you're doing anything with large data sets and you want to still have the ergonomics and developer experience of Elixir, this is Explorer is phenomenal because
Awesome.
under the hood it uses Polars, which is a data frame library written in Rust. But you have nice bindings to those via Rustler, and so with the financial analytics side, you're doing a lot of time series analysis. And like when I first got things set up, I was like, "There's no way it's this fast." Because I was analyzing like from the beginning of time, Amazon to now, and I was doing a whole bunch of like overlays, the simple moving averages, exponential moving averages, and stuff like that. And I was like, "Is it really done in 50 milliseconds?" Analyzing all that time series and replotting it in Livebook and whatnot. So yeah, Explorer is great. I'm just getting into the scholar portion of the book now. It's yeah, this has been a fun one. This has been a really fun book
Awesome.
to
No,
to
that's
write.
cool.
Yeah, I'll
We have
I'll go back
Carl,
to hearing.
amazing, serious computing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Big data and Elixir. Who said it wasn't? Who said it wasn't possible?
No, I love it. That's cool. I'm excited. I'm excited for
Yeah.
that one. Yeah, guys, I will buy all of Alex's books after I read Elixir Pattern. Did
Thank you.
did
Thank
you
you.
have a book before Elixir Pattern?
Yeah, I did. I can't remember the name of it actually. I think it's building a weather station with nerves.
I own that book, but I have not read it. I need to.
Yeah, there we go. Build a weather station with Elixir nerves. Visualize your sensor data with Phoenix and Grafana. I forgot the name of it. I'm terrible, terrible author.
Dude, what's really bad now is I will like forget who I've had on my podcast.
It's the same
And
thing. Okay.
yeah. And I'll be like, shoot, I'm like 90% sure I've talked to him. And I'll have to go look at my podcast list and be like, oh
Mhm.
no, I haven't. But like either way, like I'll have them on or have people back on. Like I think
Yeah,
my favorites having returning guests, to be honest, because then you're like, you don't have like the awkward couple minutes of opening it up. You're just like good to go.
you just dive right into it. Yeah.
I'm going to put you on hold a real second and just run an ad, and then we'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Kimberly with Elixir Mentor. Jacob recently added recruitment services to help companies hire pre-vetted Elixir devs. I help with company outreach, so if you're hiring, I may be reaching out, or you can connect with us anytime at elixirmentor.com.
And we're back. I play little timers now to remind myself to play ads.
Nice. It's a pretty nice setup you have.
Dude, it's just like a Stream Deck and then OBS, and it's good.
It's pretty
Except
slick.
I accidentally, like one of my OBS updates, like checked that I want to do beta updates, like automatically do
Okay.
beta testing. And one day, I feel like it was like when I was having Jose on, or, you know,
Oh,
like
geez.
someone who I'm like nervous about talking to a little bit, you know? And it broke everything. My Stream Deck didn't work all because of
Oh
this new
man,
update, and I didn't have time to
that's
fix it. So
terrible.
I was like manually clicking as we're doing this. And yeah, it was rough, but
Doing it live.
yeah, doing it live. But yeah, other when it works, I love my setup. It works well.
Nice, nice. Yeah, see, sometimes it pays not to be on the bleeding edge. Like sometimes you don't want to update
No, dude.
to the
Especially
latest
like
version of things.
I don't know that much about audio and video streaming, so like when it's working, I just want to keep it working.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Because I
I can
remember like
I
I
can
try to
relate.
like manually set like streaming settings and things from like video and things, and I would just screw up video quality or audio quality. Like if you go back to some of my like first episodes, I always was having issues. And knock on wood, I got it pretty dialed now.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I keep mine pretty simple. I just moved though, so all my like actual stuff is in boxes, so I'll just settle for the AirPods for now.
I mean, honestly, AirPods are pretty good mics. Like I use a Beacon for a Beacon mic, which I feel like is the best like USB style mic you can get out there. Because
Hmm.
I don't want to deal with all the other crap. I forget what you call the audio plugs and like the
Oh,
amplifiers and
it's like the
things.
quarter-inch jack or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Like no thanks. And then I use these to hear you and to talk to you because I
yeah.
found like if I hooked up through my Beacon mic, it would be like delayed to my guest, and then I feel like it's just
Ah,
weird.
okay.
It's weird conversation. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think I have a Elgato was a Wave 3, I think is my mic. It does a good job.
I like
It's
Elgato stuff. I just got
yeah.
their one of their key lights, and that's really nice.
Oh, okay.
Because at first, the light I have up over here, I manually turn it on. But
Hmm.
I was like, I need like my recording setup to just all turn on with a push of a button.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like now I turn on, you know, the mood lighting behind me, my key light and my camera all with like one button. And that's nice.
Nice. Oh, you're well organized.
Dude, I just am a nerd. I like I like to like automate things that I manually do, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
I think everyone can relate that's listening.
Oh yeah, yeah. Gear is half the fun. Like
Oh
buying
yeah.
something new, and it's especially now
Like,
Black Friday. You could probably get a whole bunch of nice stuff on
oh
on
yeah.
discount.
My big Black Friday purchase was I bought one of like a vertical bike rack for my trailer hitch, so I can
Oh,
get a bunch
nice.
of mountain bikes stacked across like a 6 bike rack. It's pretty dope.
No, that's pretty slick. That's
Yeah.
nice.
No
Yeah.
gear this year. Like I laughed. I'll pull up my like YouTube analytics and be like lifetime, right? Like which is pretty cool, right? Like I've made like $1,500 in like views lifetime on YouTube.
That's
And I
pretty
was
good.
like, oh, I almost paid for my gear.
You're crossing that point in the graph. It's like all the money I spent and
Almost.
then how much I'm.
Minus time, so if you
You
guys
can
want to get
ignore that. You
rich,
ignore that.
yeah. If you guys want to get rich, don't start a YouTube channel with Elixir.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, it does not get as many views as like chasing the latest JavaScript web framework.
Dude, I don't have the energy for that. I'm already like worn out with just doing Elixir content, and I enjoy doing it. I couldn't imagine like staying up to date on JavaScript anything
Yeah,
or React. Like,
it's a tough ecosystem. But like, yeah, I said that I started my first business in Node, and like even there, like just the course of trying to build a product, like stuff changed from the day I started to like the day I ended. I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, I started with Express, then I went to was it Koa was like the wraparound Express, and I was like, yeah, but Koa uses promises, Express doesn't. It's all callbacks. Everyone should switch to Koa. And I'm I'm going off of like a decade worth of memory here, so maybe I'm misrepresenting the two libraries. But if I recall correctly, that's what it was. And yeah, for the second startup, I switched to Elixir, and like that's when I actually learned how to use Elixir was like 2015, 2016, and it was with that startup. And even the course of just building a product with zero Elixir experience, I
yeah.
was like, all right, this makes sense. This is a well thought out. Like this is what Phoenix, well before Phoenix 1.0. I was like, this is a well thought out framework. It's doing exactly what I want it to do. It's performant. I was like, yeah, I'm going to be building apps with this from now on.
That's what I
And
did too. Like I came from like a Node.js background, and then I had my like fitness marketplace I started building, and I was like, I had a buddy that kept telling me to check out Elixir for like 2 years, and then I finally checked it out. I was like, oh, this is actually like on paper, it's a really good fit. Like I didn't actually know anything about it, and I just started writing my back end in Elixir, like horrible. Like my learning curve was
oh yeah, my first app was
bad.
atrocious.
Like I wrote like I was an object oriented programmer, and I wrote like just a REST API in all the wrong ways. But then like I kept rewriting it and fixing things, and I was like, I need to make video tutorials, because I came from like originally, like when I first got into tech, I was part of like a learn to code platform, and I was like, we need more Elixir video tutorials out there. And I was like, and that's what started Elixir Mentor. And it was called back end stuff back then, because I didn't want to do any front end dev.
Yeah. Well, that's that first, no, that second app I wrote. I still kind of pulled in some of my preconceived JavaScript notions. So it was a Phoenix backend, so it was all RESTful API, and then it was a Vue single page app.
Okay.
And like of all the front end frameworks, I like Vue the best. If I had to write an SPA today, it'd still be Vue.
I feel like Vue is
And
pretty good. I don't know it well enough, but that's what like my business partner and I with Perfect Form, I wrote the backend in Elixir, and he wrote a PWA in Vue. And
yeah, yeah. Like it still seems like one of the more sane front end frameworks. But like
yeah.
even that, there's still a lot of friction where it's like I had to write one app, deploy it separately, write the backend app, deploy that separately. Oh,
Hmm.
I was an idiot. I named something incorrect. Like an endpoint had a typo, so I tried to make it a REST call and it didn't work. So like there's a lot of overhead involved in
Where
that,
are your
and it's like
tests, Alex?
what do you mean where are my tests? What tests?
If your unit tests or anything, come on.
Yeah, no,
What?
that was the other thing, right? Where like the front end would have its little, and back then the unit tests for JavaScript were just what was it?
The
Was it Mocha? I think was I could that
Mocha sounds familiar, but it's been a
from
while for
10.
me.
That's a 10-year-old testing framework, but like even that just it was so bad. It was so bad. Versus like my Elixir controller tests from 2015, those felt quite nice. And then the fact that it was not necessarily like a unit test by the definition of it, because you hit the database, but with all the repo ecto repo transactions per test, like it acted like a unit test because it was it was deterministic, and it always execute the same way. But it was more of an integration test because you're hitting multiple layers of the app. But that just felt so nice, where it's like, all right, I can test multiple things simultaneously. It's still deterministic. I'm not going to have any flake, and it was just such a godsend. But that migration from Vue single page app, Phoenix backend, to my current business, which is all LiveView. It's a LiveView app. Like that felt even better.
Yeah,
like,
that's
right,
my goal is just, mobile first responsive LiveView apps now. Like I don't want like it sucks dealing with app stores and things unless you absolutely need to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even there, I think there are a couple people that have made like PWAs in the App Store. I might be.
They have, I believe.
I don't think it's common, but I think there's like one or
Why am
two
I
people that have done
blanking
it.
on Thinking Elixir podcast? I'm blanking on his name right now.
Eric?
Yeah. No. Is it Eric? I forget people's names way too often.
Mark Erickson.
Mark Erickson.
I
He's
got the last name.
building. Yeah. He's building a PWA with. I don't know what he's building it with. Is it? But anyways, and it seems to be working pretty nicely. So
Yeah, Eagle's actually, so EagleMMS is actually a PWA, because when I first built it, I wanted to put the effort into making it a PWA so you could put like the desktop icon on your phone. So when you're
yeah,
scanning out the materials with your QR code, you don't have to go to the browser or go to your camera app. You could just stay inside of the PWA.
I should do that for Kill Switch. That would be nice.
Yeah, it wasn't too hard. If I recall correctly, it's just like some XML files, and like Apple needed its own file in there, like at the root of your static assets. There's like a few things. I probably should just write a blog post about it. I'll add it to my blog post queue.
Yeah,
which hasn't been touched in 3 years.
Can you write that soon? Because I need it.
But yeah, it wasn't too bad if I recall correctly. Funny thing is, like, we don't even advertise that feature anymore because the app has evolved since then. But yeah, you can write PWAs with LiveView, and they work quite nicely. You get full screen experience on the phone, as long as you build it with responsive design in mind. It looks like a mobile app.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. It's nice that you can just add the shortcut and then you can have like your logo and everything right there. But I was always surprised, like, so when I was doing Perfect Form, my fitness marketplace thing, so many people did not understand how to use a PWA. They're like, why can't I find you in the App Store? And like, you can send them a video how to use a PWA, and it's like,
yeah. Well, then like Android and iPhone are like getting the desktop icon is a different flow for each, and like Apple's weird. I think you have to like visit the site 3 times in order for it to be unlocked as a PWA. There's some weird.
Dude, Apple tries to block PWAs every chance they can. Like you can't do native notifications or anything. They lock you out. It's so dumb.
Yeah, it's again, this is early days EagleMMS. I might be speaking with like 5 years old Safari knowledge, because when we started going to customers and showing them this, they're like, yeah, I don't want to use those. That's garbage. Like the QR scanning, not the PWA. And like the initial interactions that we had with customers were like, yeah, my technicians barely show up to work on time. I'm not going to have them scanning stuff in and out to bill it properly. And so the app evolved from there, and it went from scanning stuff with QR codes to like a full estimating platform where you can click on diagram components, and will automatically allocate things depending on your profile and your inventory and stuff like that. But yeah, like this is one of those cases where I built something cool from a technical perspective, like building a PWA with LiveView, like you can install on your desktop, and nobody cared.
Yeah. No one appreciated all the cool work you put in.
Yeah, it was cut me deep,
So
cut me deep.
what made you pick Elixir when you first started?
Like for this business or just in general,
For just
Elixir?
like in general, when you first discovered Elixir, what made you like want to try it for your product? Or was
Yeah,
it just
yeah,
like, fault tolerance, all like, all
yeah.
the
So I think the
go to?
first, I think the first exposure I had to Elixir was what was it? It was like this. I think it was on the Phoenix blog. It was a 2 million or 1 million socket connections with Phoenix
Oh,
or whatever.
dude. Yeah.
I think that was on Hacker News one day. And at the time I was doing Java, I was probably at Amazon and I was doing Java full time, which I mean, good gosh, I don't want to ever touch Java ever again.
Dude, yeah, I actually was getting my master's in software engineering and it was all Java and I dropped out because of it.
Yeah, that was me too. Back I think 2010, 2009, I was doing my master's. That was all Java, and it was horrendous. But I think I came across that blog post, the 2 million socket connections, and like I read the whole post.
Was
Very
that like
interesting.
Bleacher Report or a Discord? I remember reading that one. I can't remember what it
I
was
don't even
though.
remember. I don't remember. Like I think it was just like a generic stress test that Chris
Oh,
McCord
okay.
ran. Like I don't think it was a case study with any particular company.
Oh,
But
you know what? You're right. Yeah. 2015, the road to 2 million
yeah, that that's
WebSocket
that's
connections
part
in
that's probably the
Phoenix.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I read that blog post and I was doing Java at Amazon. I picked up I think Elixir in Action came out maybe later that year. Was it 2015 or early 2016? Like the first edition of Elixir in Action. But I ended up picking a copy of that and then read that book cover to cover. Thought I understood what I was reading. And then picked up was it Programming Phoenix, I think is the first copy of that book where maybe it was co-authored between Chris McCord and Jose. I don't remember. I read
Okay.
read that book as well. And like what I was reading, I knew it was important. I knew that this is how apps should be built. I don't think I necessarily understood everything that I was reading or the implications of it. But at the same time, I was working on Amazon doing Java, switched jobs, went to a PHP shop. Internally there, I think they were doing PHP and Node after some time. So, like, I had exposure to quite a few things: Java, PHP, Node. There was even some Python services out of that other company. And like the problems that I was coming across, like they seem like they shouldn't happen in a production system. For the Node one, I think we were using PM2 at the time. I think PM2 is still popular in the Node ecosystem, where you can run multiple Node instances on a single box, and it'll kind of like
Okay.
round robin and load
Yeah,
balance.
yeah.
And I remember we'd hit these problems where, for whatever reason, one of the instances would be like the event loop would be blocked. It was CPU bound some task, and then the round robin would hit that instance again, and it would just cascade. Like every time it would round robin, like requests would just keep stacking up on this one process that just couldn't get through the workload. And Python, same thing. We had to contend with the GIL. I can't remember how many bugs we had as a result of like white space issues where like something wasn't part of a for loop because of a tab. And I was like, these don't seem production ready. And
Yeah.
like even PHP didn't seem too bad compared to where Node and Python were at the time. And maybe, to be fair, maybe those have changed in the decades since.
I've never been a
But
fan of PHP, but I've actually heard that it's gotten a lot better in the last couple of years and it's like quite delightful to
that's
work in.
yeah, that's what I hear as well. I think there was a lot of effort put into the interpreter. I was like PHP 8, I think had like a huge bump in
Mm,
performance. I think Laravel has done a good job on the developer experience side of things. Um, like it seems like they're moving the ball forward on the PHP side of things. But either way, across all those, like I just wasn't happy building apps.
yeah.
And then I read Elixir in Action, read Programming Phoenix, hadn't actually built anything yet, and then I think it was with that second startup that I was attempting. Built all that in Phoenix. That was the Phoenix backend RESTful API, and then the Vue front end.
Okay.
And from the backend perspective, I was extremely happy. I was like, this is great. And I did a whole bunch of things that are frowned upon with Elixir.
Yeah.
But still, like even in that setup, in that configuration, it was still a
Dude,
phenomenal language.
just the functional aspect and immutability just makes things so much nicer. Like I remember once I wrapped my head around that completely, I was like, this is amazing. You don't have any like sync problems with state or like weird bugs that can be introduced because you have a freaking singleton hanging out and you're doing weird shit.
There's some weird stuff. Yeah, and then and you get that with Java, you get that with Python, you get that with
Hmm.
PHP. Like, all your primitives, they get passed by value, but all your objects are passed by reference. It's like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
always have to keep track of what you're passing around. Do you mutate the state of this object in this method? Do you not? Like, there's so many things that you have to keep in your head versus, like you said with Elixir, like you have these guarantees. If you pass a map or whatever, or a list, it doesn't matter what you do in that function. As soon as you come
yep.
back to the calling function, it's whatever was there.
You just transform and it is what it is, right? It's amazing.
That's it.
I
It's beautiful.
remember, dude. So before I got into Elixir, I was just like an iOS developer for like a music streaming, like social media thing,
Mhm.
and we had this weirdest bug that it was so hard to track down. And then I was like, I need to like see what's all running, what processes are going on, like how many threads we have going on. We were like when you inherit code base and something is a singleton, you like assume it's a singleton. Well, I
Yeah,
discovered it wasn't acting as a
yeah.
singleton. And
It
we,
was a singleton in name only.
yeah, we had hundreds of freaking copies of this thing all running. And that's why like we were getting all these random ass, like, cause we were like synchronizing basically listeners. They could listen to a song
Mhm.
together and we kept them in sync, right? So like
Yeah,
we had to do some like trickery there, but we were getting all random shit all over the board, and it's because we had like all these instances of the singleton out there, and
yeah.
it was a nightmare. Oh, I got a dang fly in here.
Oh no.
But yeah, like things like that you don't have to worry about at all when you're using an immutable language.
Oh yeah, and like even when you need to lean on things like singletons, the runtime will help you, right? Like if you have a singleton gen server running and you
Hmm.
try to start another one with the same name, it'll complain. It'll say,
Yeah,
"Hey, can't start
yeah,
this," and
yeah,
it'll die gracefully. But
exactly.
yeah, like I just wasn't happy with what was around at the time. I was also looking at Go, and I think I read a book on Go as well, but it just I don't know, it just didn't do it for me. I think their package manager solution at the time was non-existent, so I think everything
Yeah.
was just clone everything into a vendors directory like right next to your app,
I've
and I
only
was like, this is
like
terrible.
I've only used Go and like Python in like small hobbyist scripts. I've never like written a
Mhm.
project, so I don't really have much experience there. But like
Yeah,
I find like language like things like that are always enjoyable when you're like at a small script level. But
mhm.
then yeah, when you start expanding into a larger code base, I don't know.
Yeah, then I really didn't like the fact that, and again, I don't know if Go still does this or not. Like if it had compiler warnings, it wouldn't even let you run the program. Because like while you're building something, yeah, you might leave a variable that you're not using, or just like you might just do something that you're not supposed to, and you know it, and you'll clean it up later, type of thing.
Hmm.
But Go's like, no, I will not compile, I will not run your code unless it passes the linter. And it's like that's too annoying.
Yeah,
That's too annoying to
yeah.
deal with. Then I didn't like the implicit. I can't remember it now. It's like if the first letter of the function name is capital, it's public or private, and then
Oh,
but when
that's
it's
weird.
lowercase, it's
I didn't.
it's the inverse, if
Okay.
I recall correctly. Yeah, like I just don't like these implicit things.
Yeah, yeah. No, I wouldn't
Like,
like that either.
but Yeah, so yeah, Go didn't do it for me either. Like I understand its place. It makes it makes for a great CLI language and stuff like that. But that's just not my cup of tea, to be honest.
Yeah. So as you're building this, what were what was the most like unexpected like hurdle that you ran into? Like as once you have a product out there, you have a good user base, you have a product, you don't need a second job anymore. What are some of your biggest like growing pains that you hit?
Um, I would say none of them were technical. And again, this might be just because I picked Elixir to build on, but
I mean, I don't think people realize how lucky they are if they start with Elixir.
it really is wonderful. Like especially like if you don't need to make the jump to a single page app and LiveView covers all your use cases, I would highly encourage it because then you have the ability to test all your stuff right from XUnit. You can ship stuff insanely fast.
Hmm.
Like yeah, like Elixir was never ever a bottleneck, and like we do some very interesting stuff in the app, right? Where we have our debts lookup tables. We have interactive SVGs that you can click on, all live view driven. We're parsing PDFs because people can upload things and kind of consolidate their invoices across different products. So like we're doing a lot of different stuff in the app. There's we're reaching out to Java jars because we need those for parsing PDFs. Like anytime where Elixir doesn't fit the bill, it does give you phenomenal escape hatches, via ports or NIFs or whatever. So there's a lot going on there. Never ever felt limited by the technical side of things. Even LiveView. If we ever needed real time charts or graphs or what have you, LiveView was always capable.
Yeah.
And it's definitely way more capable now than when I started. Because when I started the app, it was all leaks templates. You didn't even have like HTML validation or whatever. So like if you forgot to close a div, like LiveView was more than happy to be like, yeah, ship it.
Ship
The
it.
but yeah, like LiveView nowadays is just, I mean, I think the use cases for single page apps is shrinking.
Mm,
Whereas, maybe 5, 6 years ago, what you needed a single page app for was like it might be more justifiable. But now it's like, I don't know. Unless you're building Google Docs, I don't see the point of doing it in a single page app framework.
yeah. Yeah, I agree completely. So like biggest hurdles are things that you just haven't experienced before, more like you
It,
like
it's more business side.
inexperience, business
It's
side.
more
Yeah.
business side. Yeah, like technical. Yeah, I think Elixir covered my needs 100%. And if it didn't, I wrote libraries and open source them, and they helped other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say that the biggest challenges were definitely business side. Like you would talk to customers. Maybe what we had out at the time wasn't fulfilling all their needs. They would ask for certain features or capabilities of the app, and it was really just figuring out, okay, they're asking for like a button here. What do they really want? Like what problem are they actually trying to solve? And maybe the button that they're proposing here is actually the best way to do that. But maybe there's a deeper problem that we need to fix
Yeah.
or come up with a solution for.
Dude, one of my favorite books at the moment is The SaaS Playbook by Rob
Yeah,
Walling.
yeah. Yep, yeah.
And
I'm actually reading that one as well right now.
oh yeah, it's good, dude. I'm having him on as a guest. I'm really excited. But like
Oh,
he kind of
nice.
yeah, he talks about things like that. Like you have to interpret like are they actually asking what they need solved or are they just giving you an
Hmm.
opinion of what they think is the problem? And like I feel
Yeah,
like he
yeah.
puts a really good perspective on building a product and what features you should take on versus the noise that you get in feedback.
Yeah, 100%. And I would actually recommend reading his other book, Start Small, Stay Small. I read
Oh,
that one
I'll have to add
about
that one too.
that was about 10 years ago. I read that one. That got me on this whole journey.
Dude, but
But
that's what I'm saying. You avoid the scaling headaches when you do that. Because Elixir, like you get away with a lot of bad things until you start having, you know, hundreds of queries a second or thousands of queries a second, where you start like pushing the performance of things. And like
Hmm.
you can get away with so much having a small user base.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, then even I mean, I don't know if 1,000 customers is considered large or small, but like people use the app every single day.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
I would say like a thousand's something to be really happy for, but I feel like it's still like a small enough number where you're not stressing you're not
yeah, yeah.
stressing any services. Like do you operate on a single node or do you have multiple nodes? How do you do that?
So for the main app, it's a single node.
Yeah.
But even still, like I have Promex running there, and I think we can handle 10x to load, and
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
wouldn't
Like
be an issue.
you don't even have to worry about like
Yeah,
distribution or anything. Like it's just like such a good spot to be in.
yeah, and I'd recommend most people start like with a single node,
Hmm.
and most importantly, get an MVP out and start putting it in front of people. Like do not jump for Kubernetes on day one and be like, all right, I gotta build the scale. Like your biggest thing is going to be scaling your user base, not like scaling your app. Like you could throw more money at Amazon or DigitalOcean or whoever and just run on a single VM, and you can probably service 10,000, 20,000 customers.
Yeah.
And if you have that many customers, you can pay for their 64 core machine until you need to
Right. I agree, dude.
run multiple instances.
I'm on that page. Oh, I think I got a package and my dog's going nuts. So,
Oh, okay, I didn't hear
but
anything.
oh, good. But yeah, I agree. Like you don't have to overthink scaling at the beginning. Like you'll run into the problem when you need to handle it, and at least like
Mhm.
you're relatively set up to do distributed nodes out of the box, kind of. I mean, you have a little
Yeah,
work to do, but
yeah, and even in that case, it's still pretty easy. Like if you spin up an EC2 instance or a droplet on DigitalOcean, and you find that okay, it's time for 2, 3 nodes, you just spin up more droplets, and then you do very basic IP clustering. Just
yeah,
you don't
and
need to do
then
anything fancy. You don't need to do dynamic up and down.
a
Just keep it simple.
like you can use their built-in data loaders and things and
Yeah, you can use their built-in load balancers and
the
whatnot.
load balancers. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
What did I say? I don't even know what I said, but it wasn't load
You said something
balancer.
balancers, but it sounded like load balancers, so
Yeah,
I'll
yeah.
go with that.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, but no, keep it simple. I mean, I've been at a few startups where they didn't even have the product out, and they were like, we got to use
Over
Kubernetes or
engineering
something.
DevOps already. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They had a DevOps department. They had to put them to work, and they had to do Kubernetes. And like, the problem is there are a lot of foot guns in Kubernetes. Like it's a great, maybe it's a great tool for people that are servicing millions and millions of requests a second,
Yeah.
but that doesn't come that
We
doesn't
use it
come for
at
free.
Collex and it works well. Like I think it's a good fit
Yeah.
for us. But yeah, it adds a layer of complexity to your DevOps, especially when you're a small team, you're the DevOps.
Yeah, and it's like you're gonna come across something stupid in Kubernetes, and like maybe it's obvious for the people that have been doing it for 3, 4 years, but it may not be obvious to newcomers.
Dude,
Like,
I struggle. Like I can like get my DevOps stuff done, right? But it doesn't come easy. Like I struggle.
yeah,
Every time I set up a
yeah,
new server, there's a little struggle fest with it.
yeah. I think that like one of the biggest ones was yeah, I was at this other company, and they were using Kubernetes, and they had a whole bunch of like services running in the cluster. I think one of them was Prometheus, and maybe Grafana as well. And they forgot to attach a persistent volume claim on the service. And so, like while the service was running, like it was writing stuff to the hard disk, no problem.
Hmm.
Service disappeared and went to like another node. And since it didn't have a
And they
persistent
lost.
volume claim, all the data was gone. So it's like there
Oh
goes like
no.
2 weeks of like metrics and analytics, and
Dude,
like the
that
configure
sucks.
the
All right.
configuration for Grafana is lost. It's like
I'm gonna pause us for a second and we'll be right back.
Hey, I'm Kimberly with Elixir Mentor. Jacob recently added recruitment services to help companies hire pre-vetted Elixir devs. I help with company outreach, so if you're hiring, I may be reaching out, or you can connect with us anytime at elixirmentor.com.
I gotta push that recruitment service.
for sure, for sure.
I recently just I had the weirdest issue, and I normally don't run it, and I use Docker Compose for most of my stuff,
Mhm.
and I'm no expert. Like I get it set up, I get it working. I had the weirdest thing happen on one of my droplets where I had these ghost containers. And
Mhm.
so it was like conflicting because I was like trying to spin up like an update or something and it was conflicting. And I trusted Claude too much, right? I was like, dude, how do I kill all these
It's your
containers?
first. That's your
Yeah,
first
yeah,
problem.
yeah. Well, it was
Don't
just
trust
like,
the machines.
yeah, I trust the machine, and I killed every process running, but I also wiped out my my database
Mm,
persistence and everything. So I lost all my data, and I wasn't doing daily backups yet because it wasn't like a big enough product that I wanted to do
yeah.
daily backups. I'm doing daily backups now. So I lost about 4 days of data and like 10 new users, and I had to like manually reconstruct all this data.
You got
it,
to
it
find
was
them
a
in
nightmare.
Stripe.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I did. I literally wrote a script to basically check my data with my subscriptions on Stripe and created new users and then sent them password reset emails.
It happens. Databases is one of those things like I would like if you're making some money because the managed databases are really expensive.
Yeah, they are.
AWS, Google, digital, it doesn't matter. They're really expensive. So yeah, definitely start with like Docker Compose running the database may be co-located with the app. There are a few Docker containers actually or images that you can pull down that do the daily backups for you.
Oh,
Um,
that's
so
nice. I should do
so
that.
and so like you can encrypt them and write them to like a protected S3 bucket, or you could
Okay.
even attach like another was it like EBS, I think is like the last
Yeah,
that's
like I have
elasticseeds
like
stuff.
I just run like um why am I blanking? Well, anyways, I just run like a daily script that will like take a database dump and then push it to my
Mhm.
S3 bucket, and
Yeah,
it
okay,
works
there you go.
pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those aren't too hard to set up.
But
Yeah.
then
But
like
like
it's manual when you have to recover your database. There's a lot of work in it,
yeah,
but
yeah, there you lose some convenience. But like it definitely saves you some money in the early days. Because like if you're running your own VM and a managed database, like you're $100 a month. Like add in the load balancer, add in the DNS management, certs, all that stuff.
what do you do right now for databases? Do you use a managed database?
So it's still co-located with the app, but
Okay.
it's backed up elsewhere. Then we also have like it's not actually in the VM; it's an attached volume on the VM, and then that volume is backed up regularly. And then I also
Okay.
have a bunch of like Ansible and Terraform stuff. So if anything ever happened, I can be up and running within an hour again.
Do you do anything? Do you use like read replicas or anything like that for speed, or do you not really have a need?
Um, Not yet. Don't necessarily have the
Okay.
need. Yeah, lean on Ets caching.
Yeah.
Like especially for stuff that rarely ever changes. Like Ets is amazing.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's awesome. And like, and if you're single node, that's even easier. Well, but
yeah,
even
yeah,
in your
exactly.
case with static data, like you said, you just have a copy on every node anyways.
Yeah, yeah, and it's not too bad to do, especially like if you do like a PG notify and all your nodes are subscribing to the PG notify. If it's not data that really always needs to be up to date, you can deal with that latency and just wait for the PG notify, fetch the latest data, update your ETS table, and then you're good to go again. Like this is especially useful for like stuff that you're going to be reading on every single request, but that doesn't change, right? Like a user's not going to change his or her name, email, and password frequently or whatever. So you can
Right.
always just keep a cached copy of that in ETS. Same with like if they're part of an organization, the name of the org is not changing. Yeah, like the IDs are not ever changing. So you can keep a copy of that in ETS. And if for whatever
Oh
reason
yeah,
those ever
that's
change, because with every request you're making in LiveView or Phoenix, you're probably always validating. Is the user authenticated? So if you use the Phoenix GenAuth, like do they have a token and like users tokens? Okay, now fetch me their user so I can display their name up at the top. Now give me all the orgs that they're associated with so I can allow them to account switch. Like you're going to be doing those checks every single time.
right.
So the only time those things change is if like somebody gets booted from an org or they
And then you can do a write to the ets table anyways.
Yeah,
So,
then PG notify is more than sufficient.
yeah. Hey, bud. My
So,
dog
and,
is
like,
staring at me.
if you could offload all the boring stuff that you do every single request to like an Ets cache, what you can now lean on the database for, your ceiling just goes way higher.
Go lay down, bud.
So
Go lay down. You're gonna have to wait like
he wants to play
fifth.
outside.
Oh yeah, he's like he thinks it's time. Dude just
He's
comes
like,
and puts his chin right on my armrest, and he's like, "It's time to play frisbee."
yeah. He's like, I know this podcast is coming to an end. Come on, let's go.
He's trying to get. He's like, "Come on, 15 minutes early. Let's roll, bro."
Yeah.
I like that idea actually. I never really thought about that, and I should have because I've read your Elixir Patterns book.
Mhm.
But because I'd like with my Ash project I'm building right now, I'm doing like multi-tenancy stuff, and yeah, you're constantly just looking up and adding organization IDs and everything.
Yeah, it's the same series of requests every single time. Like if you look at your Phoenix Gen Auth like plugs, they're fetching the same user, the same
Yeah.
org that they're associated with. If you've added some kind of like org functionality, you're doing the same stuff over and over and over again. And
What do you think like
there's a good way to deal with it.
the performance saving is, like querying your Ets table versus like a Postgres query?
Oh, it's significantly higher.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah. Even if you're co-located with your database, it's significantly higher.
Yeah. Okay.
Because
It'd be,
you no longer need to deserialize and serialize between Postgres. It's all native
yeah. Yeah, that
Erlang
makes sense.
terms.
Yeah, that makes sense. Look at that. See, this is like these are the conversations everyone building a product. They just have to like hear these ideas, right? And it'll save them.
Well, then
Their
I,
apps will
like
be so much more performant.
well then I feel like people are like they're sold a false set of goods where it's like you need to immediately start with like Kubernetes or some sort of like container management system. It's like you could build a pretty simple app on a
Yeah.
single node and just focus on the product. Like that's if there's one takeaway from this whole episode, it's focus on the product. At the end
Yeah.
of the day, you can make millions of dollars with a PHP app. You can make millions of dollars with a Python app, and there's plenty of companies that have proven that. Millions of dollars with Ruby. It doesn't like the language at the end
Yeah.
of the day doesn't
Doesn't
matter. The customer
right.
does not care. What they care about is the experience that they receive with that app, right? And maybe I'm biased, maybe I'm not biased. I think Elixir provides one of the best experiences for users. It's insanely fast. You don't have to worry about load balancing to other instances that are caught up in their event loops or whatever. Like I think Elixir is probably one of the best platforms you can build on.
I agree. Like at the end of the day,
But
like languages are tools, right? Like
yeah,
you can make any
like
of them work. You'll have different headaches with each tool you choose, but yeah, you got to build your product.
yeah, I think the headaches you get with Elixir are far fewer than the other ones. Like
Dude, I
the
agree.
fact that you have a runtime that fairly balances across all processes running in the runtime is something that you don't get in Node or Python or anything. So maybe you have to learn about immutable data structures or the fact that X isn't copied between nodes, but like those headaches are far easier to deal with, in my opinion, than the other headaches, right? Because like if you're reaching for Ets, you kind of know what Ets is.
Right.
Versus with Node, you're like, I'm just programming. Why is my whole app just stopping now? And it's like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
you didn't realize that you're using the event loop, and you should have put something on like the callback queue instead. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
what? I'm just trying to
Yeah.
like these
Well,
are just fundamental problems.
I also think like a big saving grace. Now my dog's drinking water. Um, like just choosing like Phoenix, LiveView, and Elixir as your stack, you move a lot faster as like a solo developer too. So
Oh yeah,
you don't need to
yeah.
hire people to do things you're not good at because you kind of can do it all really easily
Yeah,
and
you
quickly.
could move really fast, like with that stack that you just laid out. You can move insanely fast. And yeah, even Eagle. I'm still the only full time developer. Actually, Peter Ulrich works with me. He's still part time. So 1.5 engineers
Yeah, that's
can run this
awesome.
whole thing.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like, and like, I just like thinking about that, like I started building Kill Switch And honestly, like I am less than a week worth of like heads down work, and I'm like
Mhm.
ready to do beta testing, and I did it all myself, you know?
Yeah. And like, especially if you know how to pay for things that speed you up, right? Like if you pay for, let's say, like Tailwind UI, which I think was a good investment for Eagle, or there's a few, what
Dude,
was it,
honestly, like
Fluxon is the other one, or
I've
like
been stoked
Pedal.
with Daisy UI. Like it's amazing.
Yeah, yeah, that too. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
free. So it's like things that you can outsource, like definitely, like you don't need to build your entire UI from scratch. Like
Yeah, I heavily
pay for something there.
rely on Claude Code as well for my front
Yeah,
end,
yeah.
my UI work. But at the
Hmm.
same time, like I just use it for speed because I'm slower with like Tailwind classes, whatever it may be, and
Hmm.
it allows me just to focus on the heavy lifting code in the back.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. And then yeah,
And I had to
once you put
write
these
with
things in components, it definitely
and
speeds
like
you up too.
with Kill Switch, I had to write way more JavaScript than I wanted to because I'm doing so much I'm doing client side encryption stuff. And
Oh, okay.
so, but like it still works so nicely. Like everything just works so well together.
Yeah, yeah. The JavaScript hook API is not like it might be a little annoying at first to get your
Yeah.
your brain around it, but once you get it, it's not too bad. And like we've
Yeah.
done some pretty complicated stuff where it like in the front end, like in the front end of our app, you could actually use the camera, and that's all done through JavaScript hooks, and then it's making calls to LiveView, and like it's actually doing all that processing, front end and all the way to back end via hooks.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's just perfect, really.
I do think it's one of the better ways to build like if you're bootstrapping a business, I think Elixir provides you some of the best tooling out there to do so.
Hey, speaking of that half of developer, that part-time developer, Peter is in the chat.
Oh no.
What's up, Peter? I have to I feel like it's been ages since I've talked to either of you two. I got to bring Peter back.
Yeah, we can
But
we could do another
we should. I honestly like people love the three of us just chatting Elixir, so we should do another one.
I'll do
Like
it.
it's funny, like that is like one of the most requested like guests is just you and Peter together. So I think that's funny. I was like, dude, those are good guys. I'll talk Elixir with them all day.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, we chat pretty much every other day, so
Nice, that's awesome.
yeah,
Um,
we could just invite you as well. We could record it.
there we go. Yeah, there we go. We'll just broadcast your Eagle MMS developer meetings. You know.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I refuse to do stand up, so we don't do that.
Oh, dude, I hate me like I understand meetings like when teams get to a certain size, right? But I hate them. Like if it can be done in like a 2 sentence email, send me the email.
Yeah, yeah. Or just like we I can't remember what company it was, but we had a Slack channel for like stand up messages.
Hmm.
And it was like, this is the perfect place for it. Like you fire it, you forget it, you're not gonna read anybody else's message.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
just like a
Like
regular stand up where it's like I'm just listening for like the cue of my name on the Zoom call.
right. Like I don't actually care what you're working on, but I care if it involves me. Like,
Yeah,
like there we go. Like sometimes I'll like zone and be like, oh crap, I probably should have been listening.
yeah, yeah. I mean, the only people that really care are the product managers, and it's like they're gonna read all the Slack messages, or they're gonna be paying attention in the Zoom call. But like everybody
Yeah.
else is like,
Yeah,
I just want to
everyone's
get back
out to
to it,
lunch,
guys.
dude. I just want to finish the stuff you're mad at me for not having done yet.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you have any like major pivots or features that you thought would like hit better or flop, vice versa? Like, did you have any like unexpected outcomes off of feedback?
Um, yeah, I mean, our original kind of like our core feature, the QR scanning, we thought that was gonna hit,
And that
insanely
was the
hard and
major
just like,
flop.
and that was the major flop, which is why I'm telling people just get something out there. It's gonna be wrong.
Yeah. You need the
Like,
feedback. Like, you need that
like
quick
that's what you need the
feedback loop.
best.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that's what you need the most. But like luckily, what I built upon, like for the QR scanning, all that stuff was still valid. Like all the data structures for dealing with like different classes of materials, whether it's something that you build by time or by volume or by length, like all those kind of like fundamental constructs were still valid, but how people interacted with them, i.e., the QR code scanning, just
It
flopped.
wasn't it? Yeah.
We have customers today that still use that flow, but I think it's like 2-3% of our customer base
Yeah.
actually like scan stuff out as they use it. Everybody else uses like the automated calculator. That's like, all right, I'm performing all these kinds of operations. I'm interacting with these parts of the vehicle. Tabulate me everything I need.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds better than picking up a device and scanning over and over.
Uh,
Dude,
well,
I always joke, like, I'm an app developer that hates using apps.
Yeah.
Like, it has to be a very useful tool for me to like be all on it, all on board,
Yeah, for sure. And I'm the same way. Like I'll download something after like a lot of thought and hesitation. Like I think the
Like,
last
do
time
I
I
want this
downloaded,
digital clutter on my phone? Like, is it worth the commitment?
yeah, I think the last app I downloaded was when I was moving because I'm in Texas now, so I was in Connecticut, moved down to Texas.
Oh,
When I was
nice. Where in
moving,
Texas are you?
I'm in Houston or just
Okay.
outside of
All
Houston.
right,
But
cool.
when I was moving down here, I had a 26-foot box truck and I was trailering my race car. And like Google Maps was just taking me to like every side road, and I was like, I'm gonna kill either myself or somebody else with this like giant collection of stuff. And so like, I pull over to a parking lot, and I download like a trucker's GPS app. So it's like fine-tuned GPS, but if you're driving a tractor trailer, which essentially that's what I was driving. And that was the last time I downloaded an app. I was like, I had a very
Yeah.
specific need, and I
Yeah.
filled it, and I deleted the app as soon as the move was over.
That's funny. Yeah. Well, like, the only apps that I use are like hiking apps, mountain bike apps, and like snow condition apps, and that's all I care
Like
about.
was it
You know?
Trail Forks, right?
Yeah,
That's a
Trailforks.
big
That's
one.
amazing, dude.
I
Yeah.
use that too for mountain biking.
Yeah. Dude, I just got a mountain bike this summer and I was like, what? I've been sleeping on this sport. It's so much fun.
It's fun. It's fun. There used to be a lot more mountain biking in Connecticut than like Texas is pretty flat. So
Yeah, Texas is flat. That's a bummer. Do they
yeah,
have like any decent like
I haven't
trail
gone
systems?
I haven't gone exploring yet. All my
Ah,
mountain
dang.
bikes are like in the garage with like flat tires. They're totally just
Yeah.
I'm still living out of I've positioned the camera perfectly, but like from here on it's all boxes.
Yeah, moving's the worst. But you find
Yeah,
out
I
what
hate
you
it.
really need in your life and you don't need, because if you keep it packed up, you don't need it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and yeah, some boxes are like from the previous move, and it's like, see, we didn't need all these things. We can like either donate them or sell them.
Yeah. All right. I think like one more like product question. How do you balance like feature requests versus like what actually goes into like your product vision versus feature requests and feedback? When do you decide that it's like noise versus actually something useful that
Yeah. I mean, while you're gonna take feedback from your customers, like QR scanning sucks. Um, you do need to have kind of like a high level goal in mind for your app, right? So for our goal for our app is invoice stuff as accurately and as quickly as possible, right? That's the high level goal. So, pivoting away from QR code scanning to clicking on diagrams and creating operation kits and stuff like that, that's still fit within the end goal. So we could pivot away from QR codes and do that kind of stuff. If we get some feature requests that kind of go outside the scope of that, they need to be like really scrutinized, right? Like if somebody wants a feature that just simplifies that process of creating an invoice and estimating a job as quickly as possible, we'll find a way to make it happen.
Mhm.
But if it's like, hey, you guys, do materials estimating and invoicing, can you also add, how long it takes to take like a front bumper off of a Kia? It's like, no, that has nothing to do with our app. And actually, the funny thing
Is there
is,
like data you could access for that? Like I feel like that would be a very hard system to like
no,
acquire information on.
so that's a lot of money because you have to go to like the actual OEMs like Honda, Kia, Hyundai,
Okay.
and get those book times from them, or you have to get cars, like R&D cars that you can take apart and book time
Okay.
assemblies.
Yeah, that changes the game.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, like, we've done such a good job with the materials estimating side of things. We have a pretty loyal customer base. They're like, hey, you should also write these other things. They're like, we don't have the time.
Yeah,
We're gonna
yeah.
stay in our lane, and
You
that's
gotta.
and
I think it's important to know what lane you have, like what product, like where you should focus, where your product goes, right? Like it's easy to grow into like these nasty products that are just Swiss Army knives in the industry, and then I
yeah,
feel like
yeah,
everything, like that's when companies start like acquiring small startups and cookie cutter these features into their app, and then things just get bloated and start working like garbage.
yeah. You do need to protect it. Like, will you get requests that serve one particular customer's needs? Yes. Now, are they paying you proportionally for that, right? Like, is it an enterprise customer? It's like, hey, if we do this one thing for these one guys, and they're like 50% of our MRR, you kind of have to do it.
Yeah, fair.
And it's like there are ways to deal with it, right? You could use like fun with flags for feature flagging, where it's like, hey, only for this business, only put this button there, and then everybody else's experience is kind of protected.
That's a
But
SaaS playbook tip right there too. Like if you're
yeah,
adding
yeah,
too many features that would overwhelm your new users, you feature flag it and you hide it.
yeah. Actually, and if Peter's still here, he probably remembers this feature request from me. But like, yeah, we had this one enterprise customer, and for whatever reason, they just didn't like the words that we were using on the website. It was like invoice versus like open job, like something
Okay,
trivial like
yeah.
that. And they're like, we just can't understand this. And Peter implemented something where, like, using get text, you can like you have different translations depending on the customer.
Yeah.
And it's like features like that. If it's an enterprise customer, like you have to do maybe something that's a little dirty or sloppy or antithetical to what you would normally do. But at the end of the day, they're keeping the lights on, so
So
you can't
yeah,
complain too much.
they got their own custom copy.
Yeah, yeah. So
That's
yeah,
funny.
Peter probably still hates me for that one, but
That's hilarious. All right, I know I said one more question, but I feel like this is one that engineers struggle with. I know you were like boots on the ground, especially at the beginning, knocking on doors. What's your main like? How do how do you acquire new customers at this point? What is your main focus?
yeah. So I think it really depends on your demographic. So body shops are like they're not going to be bleeding edge technological operations. So they're not going to be reading Hacker News for the latest ways to
Yeah.
invoice and build things and CI/CD. So you need to go where your customers are. So if like let's say maybe you're doing websites for restaurants and stuff, maybe you need to actually go and see some of these restaurants and talk with the owners there on the ground. Like go where the customers are and try to interact with them there. Nowadays we don't do as much on ground on the foot sales. We've kind of transitioned to hanging out in the various groups on social media, so we've kind of found where people kind of collect and hang out.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I've heard that's a good one, like Facebook groups and things, especially for
Yeah, yeah.
your niche.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, like LinkedIn, Facebook. I think even like Instagram are pretty good for like for these kinds of customers.
do you
But
run ads or anything or no?
no, we do not run ads. We did do like some cold email campaigns and mixed results there. But I think I don't think I've gotten to this part of the SaaS playbook. But there's a few other books. It was like Traction, I think, is another one where like it lays out a whole bunch of different ways you can reach customers, and it's like paid ads or social media or trade shows. We still do a lot of trade shows because that's a good way. You go once and you talk with hundreds of people as they all
Yeah,
pass by your
yeah.
booth. But again, maybe that's applicable to your industry. Maybe that's not necessarily applicable. I'd say like don't go into it with preconceived notions like I have to do online marketing. That might be a total dud for your customer
Hmm.
base. Like see what works for your particular demographic and really like double down on that.
Yeah, right on. Well, awesome advice. And oh, wait, we can't forget about the teaser. Like
Ah, yes,
the
yes.
exciting news. I almost like closed out. And everyone we've left on the edge of their seats at the beginning would have been so angry. Uh,
Yeah, all right, here.
Do I need to share your screen?
Yeah, here
All right.
I'll find. All right, so I shared the window here.
Okay, and they're back up. Ooh.
So that is another book that Hugo and I are working on.
What? All right.
This this one is about like 50%, 60% of the way done.
Dude, I'm
And
excited for this.
this like my weather station book that I co-wrote with Bruce and Frank, like it was very single track, like let's build that weather station.
Mm-hmm.
And the goal is to get it like to about 100 pages. I think it was like 105 or
Oh,
something.
for people that are just listening, by the way, so Alex is sharing a screen and it's programming nerves, learn how to build production-ready embedded systems with Elixir and nerves. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah. So the goal of this book is it's gonna be a much larger book, probably like 400 pages. But this one is going to take you from like just booting up the Nerves device and getting live book on it
We got
to building
chat
like a
saying, damn,
whole
more books to
bunch.
buy.
Yeah, like you're going to be building a whole bunch of different projects throughout this. I think
That's
there's like
awesome.
12 or 14, and it varies from like just getting LEDs to blink to like here. I'll just show you guys the one I'm working on now for the book. But you're building an etch and sketch. So you have the two potentiometers here that act as
Okay.
knobs, and then eventually you're going to upgrade it to a joystick. You can
Ah,
draw. You can
cool.
draw. You can draw in LiveBook with your Nerves device.
That's awesome. Very cool.
Yeah. Then
This is
there's like.
like, you got to hurry up and get this published because after my Ash framework course, I was thinking it'd be really fun to do a nerves project on my YouTube channel.
Yeah, Nerves is fun. I really enjoy Nerves, and if you're just like in the proof of concept space, LiveBook is phenomenal. I think Frank actually maintains like an official like LiveBook release that tracks the LiveBook release schedule. So you get like a
Oh,
pre-built
nice.
firmware. You just write it to the SD card, you stick it in, and boom, you have an Elixir environment on your Raspberry
That's
Pi.
that's awesome. That's cool. Yeah, I kind
Yeah,
of have
yeah.
an itch like for like before I got fully into like software, I did a lot of like fat like manufacturing automation and like I kind of
Mhm.
miss being able to program something and physically see something else move and be timed. And I was like, a nerves project would be really fun.
Yeah, no, it's been fun. This has been my good escape from like dealing with taxes and accounting. It's like I turn on some music, I play some play some music and just nerves programming and write some work.
When when do you think this book will be at least like in beta, or are you doing full release only?
So this one will be in beta probably next month.
Next, okay, dope.
Hugo's doing a bunch of review work and getting things hooked up with ConvertKit, which I think is called Kit now. He got the website put together, so yeah, Hugo's busy getting all the like stuff ready for
All
sale.
right, that's exciting. So
So
you guys, you heard it here first, I think, right?
yeah, this is the first
Well,
announcement of this book.
that's
Yeah,
right. The Elixir Mentor podcast is where you hear all the new exciting things.
breaking news.
Breaking news in the Elixir world.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm really excited about this one. This one's been a lot
Yeah,
of fun,
that's
and
that's
I think the projects will be a good gambit where it's like you'll learn how to do touch screens, you learn how to interact with like pre-built breakout boards. You'll be able to learn how to work with hardware primitives. So it'll kind of give you the whole spread from I know nothing about hardware to I can probably build something and actually sell it.
awesome. That's very cool, man. I'm excited. I'm excited to
Yeah,
I'm gonna be on that beta list for sure. I'm gonna
yeah,
get
for
it.
sure. And hey, if you want to do another live stream with like actual like nerve stuff, I'd be down.
That would be fun. I would love to do that. Let's do that.
Yeah, we can do it.
After I get some knowledge or wrapped around it though, I want to build a project or something. I gotta
Yeah, for sure.
I gotta get back into the hardware nerdery.
Yeah, go on, what was it, sparkfun.com has like a whole bunch of sensors on there and like input things. And you're like, you know what? Yeah, I'll
Spark
spend
fun.
$5 on this, $5 on that, $5 on this. And
Oh
before you know it, you have
yeah.
a $100 cart.
There we go. Well, you have to get over $100 to get free shipping.
Yeah, I mean, of course.
Right on. All right, cool. Well, Alex, thanks again for joining me. It's always a pleasure having you on and chatting. And
Yeah, thanks for having me.
everyone that tuned in, thanks for joining and hanging out. It's always fun to have the chat going. And I hope everyone has a good weekend. And I'll see you guys next week. I have Jose coming on, so it'll be fun.
I'll be watching that one.
Yeah. All right. See you guys. Have a good weekend.
Testing.